Through life, we are going to face difficulties. We're going to face some challenges, and we're going to face some trying times. Yesterday, my Glenda, my girl, my fiance, my wife, basically, we're not married yet, but she is my wife. She had swelling in her abdomen, and we thought it was her appendix. A lot of pain, so we brought her to the hospital, and we prayed, and we had faith in God, and it ended up being something different that was not her appendix. It was not life-threatening. But in those times, we were, anxious at first, nervous, unsure of what it was, and scared a little bit. So what we had to do, what we all have to do, is we had to pray to God, because fear is not of God. Anxiety is not of God. So if you're feeling those things, that's not God. God is peace, and God is comfort, and God is love, and God is care. And once we prayed and asked God to take those ungodly feelings from us, He removed them. And were we still a little, on edge? Yes. But I knew that whatever happened, because bad things do happen, and there was a possibility that her appendix did have to be removed, but that wasn't the case. But even though through it all, I knew that no matter what happened, God would be with us. And He gave me peace, and He gave her peace, and He gave us comfort. And He allowed us to get through a difficult situation that, thank God, wasn't as difficult as it could have been, but still a trying situation. But we relied on God. And that is the main thing that we have to remember to do through everything, no matter what it is. And I know that's easier said than done, but faith in the Bible is an action. It's not a word. It's not a feeling. It's an action. I don't know the exact word in Hebrew, but it means actually taking the steps. So if I say I trust God with my money, but He puts somebody in front of me to help, and I don't help that person because I only have a little bit of money, does that prove that I'm trusting God? That shows the opposite. That shows that I don't trust God. God does not care how you feel. He doesn't care how I feel about a particular situation. He doesn't care if I feel nervous or anxious. He doesn't want me feeling those ways, because those are not of God. But He doesn't care if we're fearful. All He cares is that we do the things that He wants us to do, that we take the steps to show that we trust Him. We can have feelings of doubt, and we can be unsure about things, as long as we take the steps necessary to prove that we trust Him. That's all He cares about. We can have doubt. We can be unsure. But as long as we take the step. All through the Bible, men who God, chose and who He exalted above others were scared and, fearful before they took the steps that God wanted them to take. But they still took them. And that is why they were blessed, because they took the steps. They had faith, the action, not the thought. So, whatever God's leading you to do, I, encourage you to ask Him to give you strength. And He will. But He still requires us to take the step. So I encourage you to jump out in faith and take whatever step He wants you to take in your individual life. On the other side of obedience is blessings. We will never know what is on the other side of our obedience if we don't take the step that he wants us to take. You will never know the blessings God has for you unless you take the step and do the action that he wants you to do. You can pray and read the Bible and do all those things, but if God puts something in front of you that you know he wants you to do, and it's going to be difficult, he's not going to put something that is not hard or that does not make you uncomfortable. God pushes us out of our comfort zone. But when he puts whatever that is in your individual life in front of you, it's going to be scary, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, and you might be unsure. But as long as you take that step, on the other side, after you take that step, that's where the blessings are. And who knows the amount of blessings that I have missed out on because of steps that I did not take because I was scared or unsure. But I do know steps that I have taken that I was unsure of. Every time I was scared and I stepped out of my comfort zone for God. Every single time I did that. The other side was feelings of love and just blessings that words cannot even describe. It's so much more than a thing, the blessings. Like, it's not things. It's not, God doesn't care about money and stuff like that, although, you know, he blesses me with financial things all the time. It's when you step out in faith, the blessing that he gives you when you do the things that he puts in front of you. Sometimes they're financial, but always they're spiritual. Always. Always. Every single time. The feeling that you will feel from God, the love, is there. Every single time. That's not sometimes. Sometimes along with that is financial. Sometimes along with that is relationships and places and things and just all types of different things. But every time it's the feeling of love. The feeling that if you haven't felt the actual love of God before, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And you're probably listening, or if you're even listening, you're probably thinking this guy's crazy. But each one of us has moments in our life that God will keep putting in front of us that we know we're not supposed to do. Mine, big thing, was sex outside of marriage. But when we decide to not do the thing that we want to do because we know that God doesn't want us to do it, it's when the blessing comes. And that's when you feel the love that words cannot even explain. It is real. And I was a drug addict, and I was a thief, and I was a liar, and I was everything you could think of. And God is real. God is real. Like, it's not a thought in my brain if God is real. It's a fact. So whatever it is in your life that you're doing that you're not supposed to be doing, or whatever it is in your life that you're not doing that God wants you to do, step out in faith and do or don't do that thing, not because you want to or don't want to. It has nothing to do with you. Do it because God wants to. And let him know. He knows. He knows your heart. And just let him know. Just say, Lord, you know, I'm doing this, but I'm unsure. But I'm hoping that when I walk with you, that you'll reveal yourself to me. I pray, Lord. And, you know, it says in the Bible that he will. Like, it's not an if, and, or a but. It's not a maybe. For a fact, if you are walking in his ways and not intentionally sinning, following his commands, unfortunately that's not sex outside of marriage. No sex outside of marriage. No lying. Zero lying. All these things cut off your energy from God. This is the only way I can describe it. When I'm willfully sinning, when I'm lying, when I'm doing something I know I'm not supposed to be doing, when I'm not tithing, when I'm all these different things, when I'm doing it, sex outside of marriage, whatever, it's like the power, somehow it's cut off. Like, he cannot bless you in that arena. So when you finally decide, like, he knows your heart immediately when you make that decision for him, immediately it's like the connection is restored. And that's the only way I can describe it. And, you know, some of you, I think most people will never actually take the leap of faith. They'll think, but they won't do. And God requires doing. Our God is a doing God. He's a working God. He doesn't care how you feel. He cares what you do. Words are cheap, as they say in this world, because it's true. You can say or feel or think what you want, but until you do, you will never know. So if somebody's watching this video, there is somebody watching this video that is stuck on the ledge. They don't know. Like, they know they're supposed to do this. They're scared. You're unsure. Take the leap of faith and do the thing that God is wanting you to do. And I promise you will know that he is real. He will reveal himself to you. I promise you for a fact. This is not a thinking thing. This is a for real. I pray that everybody can feel the feelings that I have felt when I obey God. You know, I don't obey him all the time, but there's a couple key moments in my life when I have completely, and I crave that feeling again, and it's not something he allows us to feel all the time. It's an amazing feeling. And I pray that whoever is out there on the ledge, unsure, I pray that you take the step of faith so that you can feel what I feel or what I have felt. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. But I hope, take the leap of faith. Try it. You'll find out for sure if I'm crazy if you do the things that it says. Follow the rules. Do the things it says. And if he doesn't reveal himself to you, then guess what? I was crazy, but he says he will. So if he doesn't, I'm a liar. And God's a liar. And he's not. And I'm not. Thank you guys, and have a great day. God bless.